Previously on the all-new adventures of the Doctor Who Book Club podcast.
I'm going to pick a short story anthology for next month, but one's a little different because they're all written by the same person.
Okay.
So we're going to read to tie in a bit with Christmas, especially since we don't seem to be getting a Christmas special this year again. So don't blink, we are going to be reading 12 Angels Weeping by Dave Rudden.
Ooh.
Next month. He also follows us on Twitter.
Oh no!
And now our story continues.
Welcome, everyone, to the all-new adventures of the Doctor Who Book Club podcast. This is Matt in Minnesota.
Chris in South London. How are you doing?
Doing great. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Yeah, we're in December. Though some of the people around these parts have had Christmas lights up since like 2 weeks into November. Like, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, at least in the States, you want to wait until after Thanksgiving to put those up usually, but yeah, for sure.
And also, because we're in election season, there is every chance we may get somebody at the door asking me to vote for them.
Well, if it does, we can just take a break. That's fine.
Yes, can add some local colour. So I kind of go, no, go away. So...
Looking out the window right now, we're in the middle of a snowstorm here in Minnesota, but it's rather lovely when you don't have to travel in it.
Yes. Yeah, it definitely feels like Christmas is on its way.
And this month we're reviewing the Christmas-themed anthology 12 Angels Weeping by Dave Rudden. But first I think we've got some news to highlight. Mm-hmm. First of all, we've had a trailer come out since the last time we've recorded for the new series. Did you get a chance to watch it?
Yes, I have. What do you make of it?
I like it. It looks exciting. It looks both expensive and expansive. It's got some new options for cosplayers.
Oh, yes.
Some old foes returning, it looks like. So I'm on board. It looks fun.
Yeah. I just hope that the writing is better. That's the thing. I was like, it looks like a lot of money's been chucked at it, but season 11 looked like a lot of money was chucked at it. So, yeah. I
liked season 11, but I'd say mildly liked it. It wasn't,
yeah.
It's still better than a lot of what's on television. But yeah, I could see, wanting Doctor Who to be that bar is a lot higher.
Yeah, I'm glad that Pete McTighe is coming back. He wrote Kablam, which I quite enjoyed in a very McCoy kind of way. So it'd be interesting to see what he does. So it is. I find it a little sad that Sarah Dollard's not back yet. I hope we have not heard a loss from her on televised Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, I would have expected maybe that she would have been invited back. That would have been...
Yeah.
I enjoyed both of her stories, yeah.
Yeah, because I think she's probably the best writer that made her debut in the Capaldi era. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks good. It's exciting. I'm looking forward to early 2020, whenever that is.
Could be very, very early.
Yes, well, speculation is rife that it might air on the first anniversary of I'm blanking on the name of it, Resolution. Mm-hmm. Let's put it this way: I'm keeping New Year's Day in the evening free, and the hope and expectation that we might actually have some new televised Doctor Who.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we have some more Doctor Who book news to share. So over Twitter during the month of November, the official BBC Books Twitter account has been doing a Terrance Dicks World Cup, where they've been putting story titles against each other and then had fans vote, and the top 10 target story novelizations were decided by fans on Twitter in terms of who to include.
Okay. I've been partially following it, but I can't remember who won, though. I think I can probably make a guess, just from reputation alone.
I've got the list here. Do you want to guess first?
I think that the winner would be Day of the Daleks, or am I wrong? Ooh.
I don't have them in ranked order.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
But Day of the Daleks is one of the 10, but it was one of the last two picked. So it wasn't at the top.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Do you want to have another go?
I'm suddenly blanking on some of the early ones as to whether... Okay, I'll go on a punt. Deadly Assassin?
Not included, no.
Not included. Okay. All right. My brain is now failing me as to good Doctor Who books that were definitely written by Terrence Sticks. Like usually in Tom Baker or Pertwee, you can go, yeah, that was probably written by him.
So the list is Horror of Fang Rock, Pyramids of Mars, The Dalek Invasion of Earth.
I did think about that, yes.
The Wheel in Space.
Really?
I think more so because it's what was one of the last ones published, and it's kind of rare, so it goes for quite a fair amount.
Okay.
The Abominable Snowmen.
Yes.
Genesis of the Daleks.
Which I've never actually read, but that's because I've seen that so many times.
The Aten Invasion, so Spearhead from Space.
Yeah, no, that's
and The Five Doctors.
Okay.
And then, so those were the top 8, and then the 2 additional that joined were Day of the Daleks and Talons of Wang Chiang. So those are the top 10.
Okay.
And as we mentioned last month, we do have a new Doctor Who short story anthology out this month, Star Tales. It's a 13th Doctor celebrity pseudo-historical anthology with stories by Steve Cole, Trevor Baxendale, Joe Cotterill, Jenny Colgan, Paul Mars, and Mike Tucker. And then also this month we have Ground Zero being published. No word yet on what the 30th volume is going to be, but usually on the final page of the graphic novel, there's like a splash ad for whatever's next month. So we'll see. And then Sophie Aldred's February hardcover book now has a title. It's titled At Childhood's End, or ACE.
Yes.
And features the modern day charity CEO version of ACE meeting the 13th Doctor. Do you think that A Charitable Earth's Ace is the same Ace that fought in the Dalek Wars in the Virgin New Adventures and traveled with Hex in the Audios?
Wow. I don't know. I don't think so. What I'm going to say is something that was being just spoken about in the synopsis or in the press coverage or something. But there is something about how she left. How she departs the Doctor, how she and the Seventh Doctor part. I suspect that is not going to tie into Set Piece or something like that. I suspect that it's going to be, fairly standalone. So you don't, I mean, it would make no sense for it to tie heavily into New Adventures chronology. So I kind of get the feeling that we're going to have a bit of we are going to have a school reunion kind of situation, but I think as well, I get the impression that possibly this Ace and Seventh Doctor didn't part on the best of terms in the context of the new book.
I guess in my headcanon or whatever, or however you want to term it, phrase it. But I like to think that it's the same Ace through all of it, but it's just gotten so difficult to try and reconcile. It feels like, the Time War. Yeah.
Time War.
Fractured. Yeah. But it sounds like it might end up being a different version of Ace altogether. But it sounds like it was the one that Russell T Davies had in mind for the Sarah Jane Adventures when he was planning out season 6 of that. There was plans to bring Sophie Aldred back. It's nice that it's finally
it's
happening
good.
in a different format.
Yeah.
And then one other piece of book news, it looks like, according to early listings on Amazon UK, there are 3 more Target novels coming, and these would be in addition to the trimmed down Eric Sayward Dalek novelizations. And the authors announced are Joy Wilkinson, Robert Shearman, and Mark Gatiss.
Interesting.
So for Joy and for Rob Shearman, I would guess, The Witchfinders and Dalek.
Yes.
but you never know.
I think that's a safe bet, though, isn't it?
Yeah. And then for Mark Gatiss, there are 9 to choose from. So he's written, Unquiet Dead, Idiot's Lantern, all of those. So of those, I think Cold War or Crimson Horror or maybe Empress of Mars would be my top choices. But, who knows? We could get the deluxe version of Sleep No More in novelization form. So we shall see.
I'd rather that than Robot of Sherwood. Because that is one of the bigger disappointments of the Capaldi era for me, was Robot of Sherwood. Dearie dear. I think your knowledge and your appreciation of Robin Hood, and particularly like the 80s TV series, if you have more knowledge and appreciation of that, then you're less likely to enjoy Robert of Sherwood or Robot of Sherwood. Or however. Oh dear.
Or however it's
Yeah.
But yeah, so time will tell in terms of what those end up being.
Yes, it usually does.
Speaking of, so how about for show and tell this month?
Right. Okay, yeah, show and tell. So there were a couple of things I was thinking of, and then I got invited along to something that my other half was doing a kind of like a talk at. She was like delivering a keynote speech, and so I kind of went into London on a miserable Thursday evening, and was in this kind of, it's going to sound far grander than it was, but anyway, this kind of like members club kind of thing. That was where she was going to be kind of giving a speech. At the ground floor, they had an Oasis exhibition that was doing like a press premiere, and there were paparazzi there. I was thinking, wow, because I work in IT, I am not used to being photographers and stuff and everything. And so I wandered up to reception, like, am I in the right building? And they said, yeah, you need to go and use a lift. And there was this blonde woman who was also waiting for the lift and wandered in with a whole group of us. And somebody remarked to the blonde woman, "Oh, you're not wearing shoes. That's brave." Looks at her and goes, "Oh, it's Zoe Ball of Doctor Who Live fame."
Oh.
And many other things. I mean, she's one of the main BBC radio breakfast presenters, and she's a lot more famous in the UK than she is overseas. She's involved with Strictly Come Dancing, which is the British version of Dancing with the Stars. And yeah, she is lovely. I mean, she's got a very tenuous Doctor Who connection, and that she was a presenter of like 2 or 3 times of fairly bad Doctor Who tie-in television. But
memorable nonetheless.
Memorable nonetheless. And she was just lovely. And it was like when she wandered off, because she left the lift before anybody else did. And like the rest of us all turned around to the woman that had been talking about the shoes. Said, "Do you know who that was?" She went, "Yeah, it was only after I started speaking to her." But yeah, it was just charming and everything. And like, yeah, I can see why you work in live TV and stuff. It's just lovely. A lovely person. So Zoe Ball, a chance encounter with, is my show and tell.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, how about yourself?
So this month I have another Big Finish audio that I've listened to that I just wanted to kind of spotlight real quick. So this one is Daughter of the Gods by David K. Barnes, and it's a recent release. It's a 5th anniversary What If multi-Doctor story.
Ooh.
With Jamie, Zoe, and the Second Doctor meeting Stephen, Katarina, and the First Doctor.
Ah.
So it's kind of a cool premise and setup, and it takes place just as the Dalek master plan is starting, and as the Doctor's on his way to Kemble, he gets sideswiped by the Second Doctor's TARDIS. Right. So it kind of kicks off from there. And Peter Purves does the First Doctor voice, and Fraser Hines does the Second Doctor's for this one.
Right.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was very bittersweet, and I just kind of feel like it would have been marvelous if it had happened back in the day. Until December 31st, it's exclusively on Big Finish's website as a download.
Who's playing Katrina? I don't know whether... I mean, Adrian Hill, I think, is pretty much retired. I mean, if she's still alive, as far as I'm aware, she's still alive. Katrina is not somebody you expect to be making a comeback.
I'm not familiar with it.
All right.
Her name is Ajaz Awad.
Oh, okay.
But she plays Katarina.
Yeah, okay, cool. We have a new Katrina then.
We do.
Yeah. Not that there are many gaps in which she could appear, but you know, it's. But Jean Marsh has been kept busy with doing Sarah Kingdom stuff. So.
I was gonna say do another Dalek Master Plan, but like set in between the stories or something, and it'd be kind of an interesting framework. So speaking of interesting frameworks, this month our book 12 Angels Weeping, it's a bit different in we were reading a short story anthology where they're all written by the same person, Dave Rudden.
I was under the impression last month that he was American, and he is in fact very Irish. I was listening to him doing a reading on YouTube, and he has a wonderful, he's a wonderful performer. He doesn't just read; he just really does bring it to life. Apparently, he does kind of like school visits and things. So, if you have any say in getting people to come and speak at a school in your area, I think Dave Rudden was probably a very good choice. He was fantastic.
Yeah, he does the some of the reading for the audio version of this too. So it has stories. They're each read by different people, but it kind of rotates between the author and then Nick Briggs and then Pippa Bennett Warner are the three voices in the audio adaptation. Okay. At the back of the book, there's a little mini bio for him, and it says he's a former actor, teacher, and time-displaced Viking currently living in Dublin.
Have you seen a photo of him?
Yes.
Yes.
It seems accurate.
He is very much a time-displaced Viking. His hair is very, do we say auburn or do we say ginger these days? I don't know, but it's very red. And quite an impressive beard in some of the photos. So, yeah.
And he's the author of the award-winning Knights of the Borrowed Dark trilogy, which I have not read yet, but seems like an interesting trilogy. And it says he enjoys cats, adventure, and being cruel to fictional children.
Awesome. Yeah. There's a tiny bit of that in this as well, isn't there?
There is.
Yeah.
In a few different spots.
Yeah.
And then we should mention, too, that the anthology is illustrated. So there's illustrations by Alexis Snell, and they're kind of, they almost look like woodcuts.
Yeah, definitely woodcuts.
And Alexis was born and raised in Yorkshire, later moved to Cardiff, where she completed a degree in printmaking in 2003, and she works in lino, sometimes adding watercolor or gouache to complete the print. And for inspiration, she looks to old matchbox covers, record sleeves, tea boxes, postcards, explorers, the circus, and films. And she's back in Yorkshire working from her studio. So, and it looks like this book is dedicated to Donovan for handing Dave the TARDIS key. There's an introduction called Halfway into the Dark, followed by 12 named and numbered chapters that are counting down, much like the Christmas Carol.
Yes, but you don't see like 12 or 11 of each thing, I don't think. Do you? Maybe you might. You might actually. You might. I'm just thinking about it. Yeah, no, I think you do.
Yeah.
But like, at no point you don't say, "Oh, yeah, there's 8 sea devils" or anything. You know.
Yeah, but like in the first story, there's 12 weeping angels, and I have to admit, when I picked this book, I didn't realize. I thought it was 12 stories about the weeping angels. So it wasn't after reading like the first 4 stories, did the light bulb go off, and I was like, oh,
yes,
this is a general villain kind of anthology and not a Weeping Angels anthology. But that was kind of a funny moment where I'm just like, maybe they're hiding really well in these stories. But, So shall we get started? I think we're going to...
Yes, let's get started. We're going to be using the TARDIS timer, aren't we? Please tell me we'll be using the TARDIS timer. Yes, excellent.
Let's do it.
Good.
Let's set it for maybe 6 minutes. Do you think that'll be enough time for the recap?
I think it might. I think we might need less than actually, but anyway, let's
5.
Go. Yeah, 5.
Okay. All right. So I will hit start, and the first story is called 12: The Weeping Angels' Grey Matter.
Oh, should we maybe not read out the aliens for some of the stories? I wonder. Sorry to.
Are there any that are surprising?
Zygons.
Okay.
I think, but then again, when you're reading it, you're spoilt by the way that it's set up. But
I mean, it has the illustration and stuff, so
it does. Yeah, let's just go with let's go.
with
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Ignore me.
Oh, that's good to figure all that out. So do you wanna start off the
let's.
the recap?
So the planet Gehenna is drowning in a dust storm, and its 12 cities are seemingly falling one by one. The population of Gehenna wear these salus masks that record their life signs. However, there's less and less of the signs being detected. So we meet Chief Medical Officer Perrin, who is in the wonderfully named Basilica of Wellness in City 1. And he's preparing to seal the basilica and trigger something called the Seraphim. And despite protestations from his colleagues and juniors, he closes off the basilica, leaving some of the medical teams outside to their fates. But then, much to his surprise, he discovers that there's something new in the basilica, which is a police box. And then the 12th Doctor appears and is immediately whisked off to a decontamination shower where he's singing and he's evoking memories of John Pertwee in Spearhead from Space, at least in my mind.
We don't get an idea of which Doctor it is at first, but
we get told about the grey hair, don't we?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
there's
a couple of clues.
It did take me a little bit of a while, but I think it's the 12th.
I agree. And when he's stuck in the quarantine cell, the doctor's discussing with the chief medical officer Perrin over the intercom, about what's causing the plague, as this disease is behaving very unusually. All the other cities have fallen, and the dust storm is still raging outside despite the climate controls. And the doctor is very curious about the dust, which is a sort of marble dust. And Perrin, he's in a control center, and he's looking at a screen where there's a figure that he thinks might have moved. And Perrin's feeling it's kind of like an itch in his eye.
What could be happening?
And the doctor reckons that the reason why the salus masks aren't showing life signs isn't because people are dying, but because they're transforming. And Perrin thinks he sees signs of tumors in some of the readings growing off the people's backs. But the doctor thinks there's something else. He thinks they're wings that are forming. So
the doctor manages to break out from his cell, and Perrin then finds him in the control room. And it turns out that Perrin's been working on an angel and has been trying to reverse engineer the Weeping Angel's quantum lock. And the image of this angel has been broadcast across the cities for other people to have a look at. And it's causing everyone to gradually become angels. And the dust cloud that is kind of spreading across the planet is the exhaled breath of 1,000,000 angels, all angry at the experiments on the angel that Perrin's been carrying out.
And then the doctor tries to persuade Perrin to enter the TARDIS so he can escape, but the medic realizes that he has the angel in his mind. He could infect other worlds, so Perrin insists that the doctor leave him behind. And as the TARDIS vanishes, Perrin lifts his mask off and sees the kind of his half-marbled face underneath.
Oh, it's so creepy, isn't it?
Yeah. So we only have 10 seconds left.
Oh, do we? Oh, gosh. Yeah, okay.
Maybe we'll do 6 minutes.
Yeah, maybe we'll do 6 minutes, yeah.
And some of the recaps are longer and some
are
shorter.
Some of them are. Yeah, indeed. It'll balance out.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
You get the 12 cities and the 12 angels.
The 12th Doctor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the diagnostic masks have Mondasian components to them, so there's this creepy Cybermen undercurrent too in certain places.
Yeah, there's a lot of callbacks to other parts of Doctor Who mythology throughout this book. So you kind of get the feeling of an author just determined to play with all of these tools and all these toys and just have fun. And we'll get quite a few cameos in the next story as well, won't we?
Yes. Let's move on then to the Ice Warriors. The Red Planet. So this one starts off with one of my favorite TARDIS teams. The Fourth Doctor and Leela. They land on a planetoid, a kind of a large asteroid fragment, which is run by the Sycorax. And the planetoid is being beset by an intergalactic storm. And they're taken to this place called The Cage, which is a gladiatorial arena, And I was kind of getting flashbacks to Marvel and DC each have their own version of like kind of war planets like this.
Yeah.
And there are lots of different creatures, including an ice warrior named Chris, would you say? Or Karis, maybe?
Karis, yeah.
Who's the last survivor of his ship.
So Leela and the Doctor are thrown into a gladiatorial cell where there's a cat kind from Survival called Bafast, who tells them not to fight the Rutan, the Naimon, or curse the Ice Warrior. Yeah, we're in a book or a story in which the Naimon are scary. The Doctor realises that he needs to kind of slip away, and so Leela decides to challenge the Ice Warrior to arena combat to create a distraction.
And when they fight, the Doctor and Bathast manage to turn the arena speakers to kind of tune them into a special radio frequency that aligns to other ships from the Ice Warrior fleet. They also lead some of the other gladiators to an armory, which leads to an armed revolt. And Curse joins in the revolt as Leela and the Doctor escape in the TARDIS. And he's fighting masses of Sycorax off single-handedly, proud of his Martian heritage and being able to be reunited with the Ice Warriors who are coming for him.
Well, yeah, I also think that he's fighting to the death and that he's doing warrior's death.
Yeah,
that's how I interpreted that. It is left quite ambiguous, I think. But yeah, that's how I take it. But this reminded me a little bit of one of the classic Doctor's New Monsters audios, which is the Seventh Doctor one featuring the Sycorax. That also has some kind of capturing people and having some kind of arena-y thing from memory. Yeah, for me, I thought it was good fun with all the various different cameos and things, and I think Leela fitted this story. The only other companion I think that you could do this with would have been Jamie or something,
or maybe Ace, depending on which. Yeah, but it reminded me a little bit too of a couple of recent Gladiator stories we read. The scenes in The Good Doctor, as well as in The Stone Rose, kind of similar sequences. But it was fun.
2019, the year of gladiatorial combat.
We still have a couple minutes left.
Okay.
Anything else you'd mention about this one?
It's nice to see the cat kind, because you never get mentions of them again. But are they referred to as the cat kind in Survival, or is it just the cat people?
Well, I think the cat people are different. They're a Gary Russell.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of a standard like Gladiator War Planet sort of plot, but it was fun. Yeah. And you got to see an Ice Warrior carve a Rutan in half with a flame sword. It doesn't get much better than that. Yeah. We also see Curse makes a comment about being from a really dry climate and that he didn't fear water. He must not have encountered the flood before then. Which, the Ice Warriors, was it the Waters of Mars? Yeah. Yes. But apart from that, I enjoyed this one.
Yeah, no, it's good.
We have a minute left, so we'll reset that.
Let's get cracking, yeah.
We're making good time here. Okay, so next up we have... number 10, Time Lords, Celestial Intervention, a Gallifreyan Noir, which this is interesting in that it's told in first person, which is a change from the last two. Yes. It's from the perspective of Detective Maris, who's an ex-CIA agent who's working as a private investigator on Gallifrey.
Yeah, and she's being hired by this guy in anonymous robes who's wanting to get a stolen TARDIS back, and the TARDIS has been surprise stolen by this old chap and his granddaughter. and also
a woman named Clara.
Yeah, I don't think Clara's mentioned in this, is she?
No.
But yeah, and so the old guy has got this Time Lord arrogance to have a name with a definitive article. So, because one of the great things about the story is you get glimpses of like the class structure of Gallifrey, and so Maris goes to a rough part of town called the Lower Len. where the only time travel you can count on is from one day to the next, and not even that you can actually rely upon. Oh, it's great! It's Philip Marlowe on Gallifrey. And there she finds a TARDIS repair shop where this Type 40 been stolen from, despite the fact that, per the regulations, it should have had a time clamp on it. And she's speaking to the owner of the shop when they're both attacked by mystery assailants, and the owner is fatally wounded.
When the detective recovers, she starts digging into the Doctor's past, and this is kind of an interesting section where she's using a device called like a potential engine to generate findings on the Doctor, and they're coming from all different continuities, so it's referencing things like Lung Barrow and Ulysses, which was from the an early version of the TV movie.
Yeah.
And then his brother Braxiatel.
Does Braxiatel get mentioned? Oh, I don't remember Braxiatel.
Yeah, his brother.
Yes. Yes, but who isn't named, and so I wondered whether that was supposed to be somebody else.
And who were the boy and girl referenced?
Yeah, so we haven't quite got to that bit yet, have we? But,
no.
Yeah.
So she starts finding more and more uncertainty around the Doctor's past and concludes that the CIA, the Celestial Intervention Agency, are somehow amending his past. She then digs around the Capitol, and she's captured what seem to be a brother and sister pair with Academy accents. And the girl is intelligent, while the boy seems like a psychopath and has the beginnings of a goatee.
Who could these people be?
I was thinking, like the Ranny and the Master.
Yes. Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah. Well, I think that is who.
I don't know who else.
Maybe the girl's the meddling monk.
Or
Drax or someone. But yeah, I guess that the girl's the Rani.
Or a Ruth.
Yeah. Or possibly Romana, maybe. But Romana always implied as a lot younger. But,
yeah, no, I agree. I think it's the Ranny and the Master.
Yes. As they menace her, a TARDIS forms around her, and then we realise that the TARDIS is actually her client. So the client decides to kind of go off and try to track down the Doctor, but Maris thinks that the Doctor and his Type 40 are made for each other. And as she puts it, in the CIA, you're either a fix or a problem, and she's glad that someone is out there being the other, which is that's such a lovely riff on the Gallifreyan mythology.
You also get the human version of the physical version of the TARDIS form, kind of like Compassion or the Doctor's TARDIS and the Doctor's wife.
Yeah, and also Alien Bodies as well, I think has one like that. But yeah,
I like this one. It was different. It was one of the things that I really appreciate about this anthology is that each story is, it almost, even though they're all written by Dave Rudden, each one feels like they're maybe written differently. You have some that are in first person, some that aren't. Yeah. So perspectives are changed. So I appreciate that variety. But this one, I really enjoyed it. How about yourself?
Oh, I love this. This was just fantastic. I mean, just all the various little clever references. Though I did say on the first read, I did get a tiny bit confused as to the ending. But that might have been just me. But I did. Yeah, it was such fun. I mean, I loved the idea that the reason why, Doctor Who's continuity is a little bit sort of muddled at times, or the implication is that it's the CIA kind of like changing his past and various other things. We have another explanation other than the Time War. It's the it's the Gallifreyan authorities.
Yeah, it's probably. I mean, it's a combination of both. I would think.
Yes,
but yeah. What I'm trying to remember too, and one of the things that maybe we should talk about with each of these is what sort of Christmas or elements there are for them.
None in this one.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't. I mean, there might be some references to like holidays.
Yeah.
But I don't think like in the Red Planet one, the Ice Warrior one.
Oh, Other Tide. There are mentions to Other Tide, isn't there?
Okay.
With the implication, because I think that's when the human mother of the Doctor gives birth to him, I think. Under the sign of the crossed computers. Which, that's a reference to a Tom Baker story, and I can't remember which one it is. But, yeah. It's good. Anyway, the TARDIS timer is up,
Oh, there we go.
appropriately enough.
I have to remember how to shut it off. I think it's off. Okay.
Right.
Next up, we have Cyberman Ghost in the Machine. So we meet a Cyberman called 9.9P-V, or was that a number?
Yeah, it'll be Roman numeral, I suspect.
Nine. Okay. So we meet a Cyberman called 9.9P-9.
Catchy.
We can just call him 9.9P maybe.
Yeah, I think 999p. Yeah, that's fine.
And the Cyber Legion, which the Cyberman is a part of, is fighting the Rachnos. So the giant spider monsters from Doctor Who Christmas Special with Donna on the monochrome plains of a planet called Hif, or Hyph.
Yeah.
And in the middle of the war, the Cyberman sees a girl who can't be detected by its sensor system, and it causes the Cyberman to delay itself, and its firing pattern is off because of this
because of the confusion that's been caused.
Aberration almost.
Yes. So 9.9p is later sent in to invade another planet called Agrippina, which is a planet that has a lot of neoclassical architecture. Also, Agrippina is the name of Nero's mother. So that was quite a nice little nod there. While the humanoid inhabitants of Agrippina wage war, 9.9p sees glimpses of the same girl again. And afterwards, 9.9p is assessed by the Cybermen medical team in case there's some kind of malfunction. And it's used in more and more invasions, fighting Jadoon, Slovene, and Daleks. But still, it sees the girl in a variety of different worlds, sometimes speaking, sometimes silent, and sometimes glaring.
Then this Cyberman is deployed to a system called New Cadmus, and it continues fighting humans, and it once again sees this girl appearing kind of before it and then not registering on other Cybermen's equipment. And with its kind of super enhanced weapon system, it aims at her, and she starts to scream the words, "You will be deleted." Words that are heard but are not audible. Words that are errors. The wrist blaster overheats and explodes, taking 9.9p with it.
And then we encounter Perry and the Doctor, who are also on New Cadmus, and they are inspecting the remains of 9.9p. And the Doctor explains that when the Cybermen rank and file shout, "Delete, delete," they're actually talking about the vestiges of their soul inside.
Yeah, like their humanity.
Yeah. Oh, that's yeah. That's such a good and clever explanation, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of like a reversal or a different way of thinking about it.
Yeah. Though I did get confused by this one. I was expecting that girl was going to be Clara or something. Or
you know what? Oh, there's the TARDIS timer. Let me get rid of it. I had the exact same note. I said I was hoping it would turn out to be Rose as the bad wolf or a Clara fragment. But then it turned out to be the Sixth Doctor and Perry at the end, with no explanation for who or what the girl was.
Yeah, so the girl could have been the original. Yeah, so it could be 9.9p. Could have been
True.
the girl. Or 9.9p could have been their parent or something.
This was another one that was kind of from a first-person perspective, so you were getting information on all the cyber routines, and I think at one point the Cyberman's arm is severed, and it's kind of chilling. Maybe not quite as horrific in its depiction of cyber conversion as Steve Lyons had in Killing Ground.
Very little is, I think.
But I think it got the point across.
Should we move on?
So
cool.
We'll start the timer up again.
Yeah. Now we are on 8 student bodies with The Silence. It's worth noting that this story consists of found diary entries from a missing Lunar University PhD student called Donovan Clare. And I assume that this character is probably named after the Donovan that the book's dedicated to.
This takes place on, like you said, Luna University. and Donovan is having to stay on campus for the Christmas holiday. And I thought the story did a really good job of depicting that. Like, if you've ever had to stay,
Yeah.
paints a really accurate picture of like how you feel when you're on campus during a holiday.
Yes. It does. It does. Kids, it's not fun. Don't do it. Unless you have to.
I thought Donovan was a girl.
Well, I don't think it's ever made clear. And Donovan sounds like a boy's name, but I think it's left to your interpretation.
I had that as a question mark too, but then I went back and changed it.
Okay.
I thought, it says transcribers note the subject here is female, young, vocal pattern.
Ah, okay, fair enough.
But okay, so she's staying on campus and she hears the last of the shuttles head off before Christmas, and then wanders on a tour, kind of showing off the archaeology campus. And there's also a tower that she can't remember the importance of, which is a little strange. And then,
yes. A bit of a hint as to what might be happening here. Yes.
And then she heads to the library where she's talking about her studies and, is the only one there in the library. So she's like spreading out and taking up a whole couch kind of sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then she starts hearing noises, and she at first thinks it's a cleaner droid, but then she investigates and kind of repeats with no memory of what's just happened. And she's, it's the silence.
So on Christmas Day itself, she learns that the planet that she's been studying has disappeared, and she wonders if it's her fellow student River Song up to all tricks. And then she's wandering around university. She bumps into Madame Kavarian, of all people, who tries to persuade Donovan that there's nothing odd about a planet going missing.
Yeah. No references to Professor Candy, though.
No.
But so then Donovan then eventually meets up with River Song. And so this is River at her time, at university studying to be an archaeologist. And Donovan is noticing that there's something weird happening in her audio recording. So she has like this audio recorder that she uses for class transcriptions, but she's been keeping a diary of her time on campus during Christmas break. And she's noticing that there's these gaps in the diary and these entries that she doesn't remember making.
Donovan and River go on the run, pursued by Silence, armed with laser guns. And River somehow escapes, though Donovan is still trying to elude the Silence, and sends her audio files to her supervisor before she disappears, seemingly forever. Oh, that's a lovely, creepy story, isn't it?
Yeah. One, it feels really like, even though it's on this sprawling lunar campus that apparently takes up like 1/3 of the lunar surface, it still manages to feel really claustrophobic. And we're at the time. Yeah. But you get that just eerie scene of Luna University being just filled with silence, on the moon. And it's and also that scene where this rogue planet she's been studying, and you get some great descriptions of what rogue planets are and how they're just kind of flying through in between solar systems, and hers disappears, and it has fallen into that ubiquitous crack in time that it's kind of throughout the Moffat era. Yeah. But at the end, River does manage to get Donovan off the moon on a shuttle, and she's going across the universe, trying to remember.
Does she?
I think that's how it ends.
Oh, okay. It's not how I remembered it ending, but also I found the end. I'll take your word for it. Maybe I misremembered or misinterpreted.
And she says, I'm going to find out what happened. I'm going to find out why things are falling out of the universe.
Okay. Yeah, but because we don't hear anything more from her, and because she's disappeared.
Yeah, she says, I watched the moon get smaller and smaller, and within a few hours I was somewhere else.
Okay.
So I think she escapes on a shuttle.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of left open.
Yeah.
And the way it's presented too, with like audio excerpts, it's
yeah, it's found footage. Yeah.
And you also have to pay attention to the timestamps on the audios because they're out of order.
Yes, you do. It's a bit of a pain to do a summary of. Sorry, it's more one to experience. Rather like the next one.
Yep. So let's reset the timer.
Yeah.
And. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. 3, 2 This one is A Soldier's Education, and it involves the Sontarans.
Yeah.
So this one starts off with a newly hatched Sontaran being given a crash course in Sontaran culture and fighting styles. The tutor is the AI inside the Sontaran's helmet. It's a fun story.
Oh, it's awesome, isn't it? Yes. We hear all of these things about like Sontaran's main enemies, so like the Rutan, their views on the Daleks, which is quite fascinating because like they regard the Daleks as being so full of hate they can't quite understand them. And like, well, yeah, but you guys aren't exactly cuddly either. And talks about the Time Lords and particularly the Doctor, and they refer to him as the Time Warrior. And they also mention an account of a later Doctor who is colourblind because of his long scarf. And they have other references to, they think, well, maybe we've encountered some other versions of the Doctor. However, the military commanders involved were clearly very diligent and didn't spend their time writing up, but were still busy trying to fight him and defeat him. Which I thought was quite cool. And you have various data files that you get references to, including this wonderful one called Probic Vent Care, Why a Mirror is Your Best Friend.
And this is where our dramatic reading comes in for the month.
Less dramatic, more comedy.
Our comedy reading for the month. And this is read by Nicholas Briggs. And it is an excerpt from the audio version of the story. So this is available on iTunes, the Amazon store, available on Audible, and
all of the places, all
the streaming places. Yes, so Here we go.
Data entry 2 selected. Sontaran armor. Ah, another excellent choice. This is only the second minute of your existence, and already you are displaying a keen sense of tactical nuance. Be aware that when presented with the same options, 4,300,008 of your batch made inferior choices. You are moving up the ranks. You may also be interested to know that your drop pod is now hurtling into the atmosphere of an enemy world. This is a perfect opportunity to educate you in our innovations in military technology. There is nothing dishonorable about wearing armor. The Sontaran physique is robust, and our enemies are pathetic, but they can be cunning, and anything that prolongs combat effectiveness is crucial to our cause. But worry not. You have already been encased in the Sontaran Empire's finest Mark 7 battle armor. Sturdy, form-fitting, and proof against all but the most determined blade or bolt. This armor offers extra protection for your probic vent and can be modified for the inclusion of a perception camouflage matrix and other advanced technologies. Please hold your head still as we lower the Mark 7 tactical helmet. This will guard the noble dome of your valuable skull and enhance your senses with an intuitive, ever-updating heads-up display connected to our forces in orbit. No Sontaran sees alone, hears alone, or fights alone with a Mark 7. Now, as the Mark 7 tactical helmet connects to the systems of the 7th Sontaran battle fleet, you should see our ships in orbit and details of the planet below. Do you see the green icons entering the atmosphere? That's you! The 5,960,000 who have survived this far, to be exact, which, considering the sheer volume of anti-aircraft fire being levered at you from the surface, is actually well within acceptable fatalities for this stage of your development. Another note. Like any good Sontaran soldier eager to serve, you may be wondering whether the Mark 7 battle armor, or indeed your sturdily constructed drop pod, has been reinforced to survive the barrages directed at you from the planet's defenses. Fortunately, the enemy's weapons are so advanced that not even our properly shielded command ships are safe. Revel in the heady rush of knowing that you, like our most celebrated generals, may die at any moment, and remember, dying above a battle is still dying in battle. Related data entries. 247. Probic Vent Care. Why a mirror is your best friend. 357. Helmet polish procedures. Get a Sontaran shine.
again, if you want to listen to the whole story, it's available through many different streaming services and on audio CD. So all of this is going on while the newly hatched Sontaran is being hurtled towards a planet's surface, where there's a couple more twists in the story too, which I think we're gonna
keep those.
Yeah,
We're gonna keep those. Yeah, we're not going to spoil this one for you. You're going to read this. You're going to love this. Like, even if you don't care for the rest of the book, I think most people will enjoy this book, but this is brilliant. Is this a highlight of the book for me? I think possibly. But it's such good fun.
It's just so much good humor, and I love the note about how many fingers do you have? A career in special forces might be for you. It was a great reference to the two doctors, and the reference to in your 7 minutes of infancy,
and also the fact that there's this rumor that the Sontarans might have stood on Gallifrey, but has had their memories stolen by the evil Time Lords. No, that happened.
There's even there's a clever reference at some point to the 13th Doctor, but without recognizing a difference in gender, with the Sontarans. So it's a great little. Like I said, we're not going to give everything away in this story. You definitely have to read it.
Oh, it is brilliant though. It is well worth your time, even if you just buy it on Kindle or any other thing like that, and just read Chapter 7. You will not regret this.
So. We still have a minute left on the timer, but I think we'll...
But it's just fabulous. It's fabulous. Read it.
It's a great one.
Yeah.
So we'll get the timer reset here.
Yeah.
And our next story is a play on the Red-Headed League, and it's called The Red-Eyed League.
What's the Red-Headed League? Is that a Sherlock Holmes story? Or
It is, yep.
Yeah, it is. I thought it was, yeah.
Because this is a Paternoster Gang story. So we've got Vastra, Jenny, and Strax.
Yeah, so staying with Sontarans, yeah.
The Paternoster Gang are experiencing Christmas, and Vastra is Christmas shopping. She's picking up a book for Jenny, a sort of a 2-year anniversary / Christmas gift. And she's indirectly passed a note that leads her to the Church of Latter-day Emergence, which, as she sneaks in, she's discovered that it's being occupied by another Silurian, a woman named Kismos, or Kismos?
Yeah, Kismos, yeah.
Kismos.
Yeah.
Who's a priestess. And then the book, incidentally, that she was ordering was The Art of War by Sun Tzu, originally.
So Kismos is a priestess, and she's the sole survivor of her community, and the others have been killed by workmen breaking their eggs. Vastra leaves her, but she's thrilled to be able to speak her native tongue. And when she's back at the Paternoster house, she's a little bit cagey about what's happened. And we also find out that the Paternoster house has that famous Russian invention, the radiator, installed. It's been paired with a Sontaran power generator, just to kind of make sure that it's warm enough for Vastra. That's a lovely little
very balmy inside, yeah.
Yes, yeah, which is really cool.
So the Paternoster Gang continues on with their cases, and Vastra sneaks away from time to time to visit Kismos, who finds it hard to believe that Vastra is at peace with the human world and is able to interact with it. And then the bookshop owner is murdered, and the same thing happens to other people that the Paternoster Gang have recently met. And Vastra suspects that Kismos is killing them, so she heads to the church. And it turns out that there are other Silurians, temple assassins, all literally born without a soul and easily controlled by the priestess. She has these 5 little, I guess, kind of gremlin assassins.
Yeah.
Sort of working for her. I don't know what if they're like a offshoot of the Silurian.
They are Silurians, but they lack a soul, don't they? They've been born without a soul, and they're controlled by her. Yeah, it's a bit odd. So Vastra, with a heavy heart, knows what needs to be done, and so Jenny and Strax are with. And Jenny starts shooting at the assassins, and Strax uses his detonation rats. don't remember Detonation. Did he use those in the TV series? I can't remember.
I think they're new to this.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, finally, Vastra receives in the post a book that was sent by the murdered bookseller, and it's a Silurian dictionary.
Or it's a blank book.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's blank. Yeah, which you can use as a Silurian dictionary. Yes.
Yep. So she starts writing in it to.
Yeah. So she starts to teach Jenny how to speak Silurian, which is it's lovely.
It ends with the priest ends up being rehibernated, and the remaining gremlin creatures, or the kind of the soulless Silurians, one of them Jenny shoots and kills, but the remaining ones get put on. They get put on ice again as well.
Yeah, I loved it. I think I'm going to be saying that quite a bit during this. But yeah, it was so sweet and sad, and it's felt very much like the Paternoster Gang. One of the things we haven't actually said about is to what extent the author's kind of capturing the characters of the regulars, and here definitely it's nailed on. I think
spot on. Yeah.
I think spot on with all the others. I can't think of anywhere I kind of no, it doesn't feel right. I know the TARDIS has just landed in the background. What did you think?
I really enjoyed this one. It felt similar to the format and structure, a little bit like a Sherlock Holmes tale. It made me really wish we had gotten a Paternoster spin-off series instead of maybe Class. But,
I like Class. But yeah, I see what you mean, though.
If you could only do one.
Yes.
I would have preferred this, I think. But
yes.
Yeah, it makes me want to maybe pick up some of the Big Finish Paternoster Gang stuff too, because I really do like these three characters quite a bit and how they interact. So yeah, and I think Dave Rudden did a great job just capturing that on the page here.
Yeah,
cool. So next up, we've got 5, Ood, the Heist, which... This is a heist story, if you can't tell from the title. It also has kind of an interesting now and then flashback structure. So there's a...
Maldivarium?
Yeah. The Maldivarium becomes the target of 3 thieves. So Agricos, the Krillatane, Vertebrae Rax, the Sea Devil, and Assassin Kit, the Head Taker, who's masked, and I was parts of this kind of visualizing the Mandalorian, I think.
I've not seen the Mandalorian, but because that's the new Star Wars thing on Disney Plus, isn't it, or something?
It is, yeah.
Yes, yeah. It does feel very Star Wars. This,
this tale especially.
Yeah.
So they're doing this heist on Maldivarium, the big kind of bazaar / marketplace / city run by Dorian Maldivar on his kind of a moon-based colony. And I think that featured quite a bit in the middle of Moffat's run.
Yes.
Was it Series 6? He's the blue...
Yeah, he's the blue-headed gentleman. Yes.
Yeah. He shouts out Doctor Who quite a bit. So they're these 3 heist team members are using Krillatane biopods to pass through the planetary sensors around the moon. And Kit drops down and lands on the roof, and there's 8 Cybermen guards. And Kit has a very sharp Gallifreyan blade that dispatches the 8 Cybermen on the roof very quickly. And then we get a reference to one of them being Handles.
Yes.
Although I think it's a different Handles.
Oh, I'm not sure. I think it is the same one. I think it's Handles.
Okay.
I think it's Handles. I think this is Handles' origin story.
That would make the story even more fun.
Yeah.
So then when they dispatch the Cybermen guards on the roof, and then the Sea Devil is able to bypass the locks, and then they enter, and they're escorted by an Auton double of the owner, Dorian Maldivar, who's been reprogrammed because the Nestine consciousness had reached some sort of treaty agreement with the Krillatane, and so he's like a embedded agent for a foreign government working for them.
Convenient, isn't it? But yeah, so the group make their way to the vault, which is a pocket dimension within the Maldivarium that contains the items that they want. DNA samples of rare species for Agracos, and vertebrates wanting a vortex manipulator to send them back in time to when its people roamed the Earth. and Kit is looking for records detailing the whereabouts of his family. Unfortunately, this Auton Dorium has overlooked the final part of the Maldivarium security, an ood.
Yes, and then this ood creature kills the sea devil, and there's this like really creepy underwater sequence where the ood's tentacles are like choking him, and then sets armed droids to attack the others. And ditching his colleagues, the Krillitane Agracos flees with his DNA samples, but when he ingests one to kind of gain the powers that will aid in his escape, his Krillitane body transforms into an ood instead. And then Kit is captured by the security ood and is subjected to recordings of his many victims and of his wife and child living happily without him, which was kind of an intense sequence. And then knowing that Kit will be tormented by the knowledge of never being able to be reunited with his family, the ood shows him mercy and lets him go. And he takes his helmet off at the end there because he's giving up his bounty hunter lifestyle.
Yeah, what do you make of this one?
There was a lot going on, and
Yep.
there were parts of it where my interest, if I had to pick one that I was like, I enjoyed a lot of them in this collection, but this one is probably one of my least favorites, I would say.
Same here. Yeah. I think it might be because I never really get to feel that I care for any of the characters. And also as well, because we've got this for the first part of the story, we've got the two different time streams. We've got kind of now and then, or then is when they're plotting and now is where they're doing it, which is not unusual in heist movies, but it just didn't let me in, and I just found it kind of confusing. I had to reread it. It's a shame because the synopsis sounds more reading the synopsis and stuff is more fun than actually the story was kind of like experiencing it, which is a shame. However, we have read far worse short stories.
Yes.
And the fact that this is a dud, or a comparative dud, it's kind of like the Android invasion. The rest of the Robert Holmes, Tom Baker era, certainly in my eyes, is at least that season is so good. It's like, well, yeah, okay. Fine.
Yeah.
Fine. You're allowed one, but that doesn't absolutely sing. That's fine.
Yeah, and kudos to Dave Rudden for taking different chances, you know, in the narration and mixing it up as much as he did. Because I think you'll have some that appeal more than others. But I kind of in alignment with you on this one. It's just really both confusing, and then also I agree with the characters. You got to know them as much as and maybe some of that too is that they're all original characters for this one, and you don't have like the Paternoster gang where you can just like jump in and have that connection. So it might have helped to have built that out a little bit more in part of the story.
Possibly. Yeah, there are some other stories with completely new characters, like for example, Celestial Intervention, and we've got another one coming up in a little while where hardly anybody in it is you've seen before, and I just found myself caring for them. But
Next up, we have Zygons, the King in Glass. 4. So this, I was really happy when it started off with right away with the 11th Doctor, Amy and Rory. It just felt like kind of a good palate cleanser from the previous story, and I found myself like wanting to see the Doctor. So timing wise, I think it came in at a really good place in the story collection. So it starts off with the 11th Doctor and Rory. They've been kind of sent off by Amy to have a boys' night because she wants to do some sunbathing. So they land in a...
It seems plausible, doesn't it?
Yeah, as you do. She's like kind of like Donna on the sun deck in Midnight.
Yeah.
Which I think it's a reference in this book too.
Yes.
But leaving her behind, the TARDIS with the Doctor and Rory lands in the capital city of Numina Vitra, which is a city made entirely out of glass. There's a coronation happening for the new King in Crystal, but unfortunately the TARDIS is Q-jumped, And the aliens on this planet, the Numina Vitri, they have almost reed-like limbs and move like you'd see like in a Harryhausen manner, or I was thinking of like Adventure Time, where it's done in that 1930s style where they have kind of wobbly limbs.
Yeah. We see quite a bit of this from Rory's point of view. And it reminds me of the Dan Abnett book, was it The Stars Silently Go By? That we did, that had quite a bit of stuff from Rory's point of view as well. And I just think, I wish we have more Rory stuff, because he can just be brilliant, and he's very strong in this. Anyway, yeah. So the High Vizier lets them in after reading the psychic paper, and it turns out that he thinks they've come to investigate a death in the throne room, and the throne room has a wide array of crystal statues, and also an enormous suit of armour known as the Mantle. And there's a dead woman, human, slumped in front of the throne. And whilst Rory's examining her, the Vizier explains that the suit of armour is for the king, and is basically a life support unit, and that the king is kept alive for centuries.
And then the Prince Monaster, enters the room, and he's the man who will become the king. And he's not supposed to be in the throne room before the ceremony, but he's been there several times, and he doesn't see the need to stand on circumstance here. The thinking here is that the woman at the foot of the throne was trying to steal the armor, but the 11th Doctor dismisses that and says, the mantle has defense mechanisms that will attack anyone who's unworthy that approaches it. Which Rory's like, I'm glad you told me that, because he was like an inch from triggering one of the fatal things.
But it's so the 11th Doctor, isn't it? Like, no, maybe I should have said that, yeah.
And then the Vizier says that foreign agents are trying to sabotage the coronation, and so he wants to speed things up. And then the Doctor, points out the Vizier and says, "It's always the Vizier. Has nobody read their Pratchett?"
I just love that.
And the prince, dismisses this as lacking evidence, but he doesn't want to bring the ceremony forward too much.
Yeah. So after the Vizier leaves, the Doctor notices some noises emerging from the crystal statues, and then one of them moves, and it turns out that there are Zygons in the room posing as statues. And then the prince quickly enters the mantle and starts defeating the Zygons. And then when the dust settles on all of this, the new king thanks the Doctor and Rory. It's also worth noting the king, when he's in the mantle, he speaks in block capitals, which is another very Pratchett thing to do. Because have you ever read any Terry Pratchett?
I have not.
No. So death, as in the personification of death, with the with the sort of the sickle and everything, he always speaks in block capitals. So I think this is a reference. Then the Vizier appears, and he hasn't met the Doctor before, and apparently he's been knocked out by a Zygon. So the Doctor was right. It was the Vizier, because it's always the Vizier.
Just in this case, a Zygon Vizier.
Yes. Apologies to any Viziers that may be listening.
So, yeah, it turns out the woman who died wasn't a thief, but she was hired by the 4 Zygons, one of whom gets away at the end.
Yeah.
And there's this really interesting scene where the Doctor uses his sonic to kind of shatter the Zygon's half-materialization, which was crazy to see that.
Yeah.
A few of them recovered, but I think he ends up killing one of them. The prince kind of thought it was poignant where, he takes solace because he has this conversation with Rory where Rory's talking about lasting 2,000 years, the last centurion, because serving as the king expands the king's lifespan quite a bit artificially, so he's going to have to live for hundreds of years. So in this locked in this crystal structure, so Rory lived through it, so he can too. So I thought that was a nice ending to it.
Yeah, I thought this was great. I did enjoy this. It was so funny at times, but also poignant, somewhat like Pratchett can be. So yeah, I think it was nice.
And before returning to Amy on the sunbathing planet, the Doctor and Rory plan to find the last Zygon, but Rory says he wants to fetch his sword from the TARDIS first. Yeah, I really like this one.
Yeah. It's one of these things that I think in my mind, when I look back at this, I'll picture this as almost being like an animation or something. It doesn't feel like something that's kind of like trapped on the written page. It's very visual, which isn't the first time that we've made that observation about an 11th Doctor story. So I think it's something inherent in that TARDIS crew, maybe. So, yeah.
My one negative note about this particular story is at the beginning they do this double thing, like a trick on Rory where Amy turns out to be a hologram.
Yeah.
And that felt a little cruel, but also knowing that he has the whole Ganger duplicate business with Amy to go through the following season, it was just like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, but also it does seem like the sort of thing that Amy would do. Yeah. It didn't feel wildly out of character. It's like, yeah, no, this happened. And also the Doctor kind of accidentally gives the game away about it being a hologram. Yeah, it just felt like a little missing episode or something. It was just lovely.
Yeah, I agree. It was a lot of fun. That was the timer. So shall we?
Yeah, let's move on to story 3. Go in this reverse order. The Third Wise Man, which features the Daleks. I don't know why I use a Yorkshire voice for that, but anyway, the Daleks. Yeah, right.
So this opens up in the first year of the Time War. So you've got the Time Lords versus the Daleks, and the Time Lords have been adopting like a shock and awe approach to their campaigns. And this is told first person from the perspective of a Time Lord military commander that has a Type 94 battle TARDIS. So kind of a cool setup to this. It's like, oh, we're in the Time War all of a sudden. So I was like, okay, here we go. So within this, the Time Lord commander has a fleet of battle TARDISes in the Scaveline system, and they are exploring the system, and they come across a remains of a Dalek fleet who have encountered the Renegade, a Time Lord who had once called himself the Doctor.
So, yeah, which incarnation of Doctor is this?
Yeah, the War Doctor, of course. Yes. And detecting a distress call, they track it to the gates of Elysium, a huge antimatter cloud cascading from a black hole where a Dalek space station is impossibly situated. And a mass of Daleks are firing upon a Dalek saucer, which is the source of the distress call, which turns out to have been sent by the Daleks' creator, Davros himself.
So when a huge swarm of particles indiscriminately destroys Daleks and Time Lord TARDISes alike, Davros reveals that he's created a new type of Dalek, the Nightmare Child, and has brought the Renegade here to watch it feed and grow, knowing that his creation will not stop until it's destroyed everything. Davros uses his ship to draw the Nightmare Child into the gates of Elysium, and the Renegade attempts to intervene, but his TARDIS is held back by a tractor beam at the order of the battle TARDIS captain. So, despite watching the apparent demise of his old enemy, the Renegade is far from grateful. He carries a grudge that will last until much later in the Time War, when this captain has become a general.
The narrator was revealed to be the general, whom we see regenerate in Hellbent.
Yes, yeah.
Very cool.
So what do you think of this one?
Oh, I really like this one. And when they said that the story was about the Nightmare Child, I thought, here we go. I've been waiting years to hear this. And then I also thought, please don't let me down, a la the Picnic at Arcadia.
Yeah.
One thing I did really like was all the different battle tactics that we heard, and they were kind of couched in terms of time and not place.
Yeah.
So things like, hey, I'll take this squad and circle back a day, or, don't establish a beachhead in the future quite yet. I just really liked that, different way of looking at battles taking place over time.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Yeah, I didn't care for it.
Really?
Yeah. It just didn't click. It wasn't as bad as the Picnic at Ascot, which was terrible. I can't even remember what story what compilation that was from. But yeah, I don't know. I just kind of thought that the Nightmare Child was something other than a Dalek. Though I know the original script, RTD had it as the Dalek Emperor's Nightmare Child, and then he got rid of that and just made it more generic. And yeah, I don't know. For just some reason, this just felt. Yeah, I just didn't engage with it. Didn't click. But
Yeah, I had a different experience.
Oh,
with
yeah,
it.
clearly.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, and I didn't really have any idea as to what the Nightmare Child was, so it was like this giant doll. I mean, it was different than what I had imagined, but I thought that was okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was really consistent internally with what George Mann had established in Engines of War, in terms of like how battle TARDISes deploy and all of that. It seems like he had read through that and it's like, okay, I'm not going to contradict any of that.
Yeah, yeah.
I love this exchange in particular where the Doctor is talking to the commander, later the general, where he says, "What did they tell you in the academy after they showed you the untempered schism? After they showed you that horrible maelstrom with infinite moments, everything that has ever happened and ever will happen, and then they put the controls of a TARDIS in your hand." And he says, "And I knew the answer. Every cadet did. There is only today." Which, that just gave me chills. I really like that kind of phrasing of that one day at a time, and you have the day to do with what you can.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, we're at time.
Yep.
For that one. Appropriately.
Yes.
And so now we turn to Jadoon, the Rhino of 23 Strand Street. So we're in Ringsend, which is a neighborhood or area of Dublin in 1966. And again, the juxtaposition from the previous story.
Yes.
In the middle of the Time War to this thing that's incredibly small and domestic in contrast to what has come before. We're in Ireland and we meet this 10-year-old girl named Patricia Kiernan, and she sees a white rhino in her late neighbor's garden. So her neighbor had passed away of old age a few weeks or months back, and investigating the empty house, Patricia passes through a bubble which shows a different view of the property, this is a great kind of sequence where it's almost like a perception filter.
Yes.
Where, from the outside, it's Christmas time and it's snowing, but this house doesn't have any snow on it because the image of it was taken from before the snowfall. And then once you pass through the bubble, you can see there's a giant spaceship sticking out of the roof of the house. So Patricia goes inside and finds the house torn up and sees this rhinoceros, an injured humanoid creature from outer space.
Isn't it like sitting in a chair or something like that?
Or it had built a nest out of
yes, that was it.
bits of furniture,
Yeah, so over the coming days, Patricia nurses the alien rhino back to health, and she decides to tell the nuns at her convent school, but changes her mind when she overhears them belittling her. And they are nasty. Are these are her teachers, and just sort of saying there's no point in her learning about science and stuff like that. Yeah, but also it was the time of the 60s, unfortunately. So it rings true with stories that I have heard from my mum, who experienced the school system, not of Ireland, but of the English school system in the 60s. So that night, Patricia runs away from home and helps the rhino escape from a strange woman in a police box. And as the two friends go on the run, a large spaceship lands before them, and the little rhino runs into the arms of a larger rhino, and they fly off into space. Upset that her friend has gone without saying goodbye, Patricia encounters the woman again, who explains that the rhino was a Jadoon child caught up in a terrible war and had been left on Earth for safety. And praising Patricia for helping the child when others wouldn't, the woman encourages her to follow her own path through life instead of being what others want her to be. This I loved.
Yeah, this may have been my favorite.
Yeah.
Well, this and the Sontaran one.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite two in the collection. And we get the 13th Doctor.
Yes, we do.
I was very surprised. I didn't realize she was in this.
Yeah, nor did I. I suspect, because this was published last year, so I don't think that David had much to work on of 13th Doctor material. Yeah, because there's no mention about why Yaz or any of the others aren't there. But yeah, it's fine. It's lovely. There's a Neil Gaiman-esque quality about this story. because like this story isn't about an alien, but it's it is about kind of trying to live your own dreams and trying to kind of like rise above the circumstances.
And you get this like whole dynamic of this schoolgirl Patricia, she's wanting to be a researcher and a scientist, and she's having to deal with her parochial school and nuns, and it also felt very almost Harriet the Spy, where she's jotting things down in her journal. I don't know if you've read that.
No, not familiar.
Yeah. And it's kind of the plot of E.T. But like you said, it's not really, that's not the point of it.
Yeah. Have you seen the new E.T. ad thing?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can't remember who did. In the UK, it's been done by Sky. It's been done by somebody else in the States. Just Google it. It is brilliant. Even better, try and get your other half to Google it, because there is a bit of a twist that is best going into completely unspoiled.
Okay,
but it is like 5 or so minutes of brilliance. It is the ET sequel that we will never have.
Huh. I'll check that out.
Yes.
Cool. And we're at time.
Yes. So the final story is Anything You Can Do, and it's got the Master in it. So.
Which version of the Master? I don't know.
Yeah.
I've got some ideas, but...
Yeah. So, wanting to prove himself better than the Doctor, the Master pretends to be his enemy, both in name and deed. And after finally convincing someone to be his companion, he tries saving New Paris from invading Cybermen, but compromises his atmosphere in the process. And now, with a new set of companions, this fake Doctor embarks on a series of adventures. But when they ask to kind of return home, he leaves them on a space station falling into a sun.
It's like, okay, you can depart now. And then it's exceptionally cruel because of the two. One is like, oh, this is your space station that you came from, but it's 500 years later. Everyone you know is dead, and it's falling into the sun. And then the like grasshopper like companion that was also with them, he tells her, oh, you can come with me, but then she turns around and the TARDIS is gone. So they're both stuck in the gravity well. Which is so like very much like you get a glint of Missy.
Yes, you do. There's more than a glint of Missy in this, but Missy is the one version of the Master this can't be.
Yeah, true.
But so and also it's worth making clear it's not explicit in the narrative at this point that this isn't the Doctor.
True. Yeah.
But you are kind of thinking
later.
Something's a bit off here. But yeah. So this. Fake Doctor then helps a nurse named Ocelot.
Yeah, the Doctor helps a nurse named Ocelot bring peace to the warring planet of Lachmer, but only by blowing everyone up. So after decimating the planet, the Doctor has Ocelot join him, but she really doesn't have a choice because he's just murdered all of her planet's people, kind of Nissa, style, and then. When she attempts to escape him on 11th century Earth, he sends an alien multiform after her. There's like this sequence where she's running and trying to use the skills she had learned on her war-torn planet to evade the Master/Doctor on the 11th century Earth, like through very dingy alleyways and stuff.
Now assisting the crew of the spaceship Nowhere's Eye on an exploration of non-space, which is a place outside the universe, the Master receives a call from the real Doctor. The proper Doctor is displeased at having his good name tarnished and has undone all of his enemies' deeds.
Then the Master reveals that his actions have been part of a trap for the Doctor, and he now plans to lead a nest of these Calignosti monsters, or these multiform monsters, back into the real universe. But the Doctor has seen through the Master's scheme, and you get this great sequence where you find out that the Doctor's picked up all of the Master's companions after he's dropped them off to die, and they all kind of team up against him, almost Avengers style, and go after him at the end.
Yeah. Which version of the Doctor do you think this is?
I have written down, I'm not sure which Doctor it was in the end, but I don't think it mattered.
No, that's fair enough. That's fair.
But yeah, I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
I think it was a male version of the Doctor. But
Yes.
And also he had relatively good control over his TARDIS, so
Yeah.
I would eliminate maybe the first 4 or 5.
Yeah, I thought it was the 7th.
That would make sense.
Well, the illustration is said to depict the 5th. I was like, really? It does? Okay. But also, some people think it's the 4th. So
Oh, the hat on
Yeah.
the...
yeah,
Yeah, it could be the 7th. The 7th Doctor had a hat,
yeah,
too.
yeah. But it's one of these things. It's not important, but it's also nice to have these little ambiguities.
It's not a fez.
Yeah, it's not a fez. It's not a fez. No. So, what do you make of this?
I like this one. At first, once I realized it was kind of this invert, the Master pretending to be the Doctor, then I had a lot of fun with it, and some of the stuff he was doing was very cruel to the companions. So I'm glad the Doctor saved them at the end, because I was thinking, wow, this is going to be a really dark one to end on. Until but what did you think?
Yeah. I didn't enjoy it as much as some, I think. It's just because I feel that I've seen the Master pretend to be the Doctor before, and sort of like, particularly, I think the War Master has done that, hasn't he, on Big Finish? I mean, it was enjoyable. It just wasn't the strongest of the stories to end on.
Yeah, if he would have ended on the Jadoon one,
Yes.
that would have been better.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, problem is, so that story inherently has 2 in it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But also I was thinking, because the 7th Doctor doesn't appear in this, so maybe this is the 7th. And as for the Master, I had in my mind Anthony Ainley, though I think some people believe that it's the Delgado Master before Deadly Assassin.
I could see either of those. I was also thinking, and when you said 7th Doctor, it made me think of the version of the Master from First Frontier.
Oh, yeah, the Basil Rathbone version, yeah.
Kind of a in-between,
Yeah.
personality-wise, between Delgado and Ainley, I thought.
Yeah.
So maybe that, but hard to say. You don't really know like which Master or which Doctor, but it doesn't necessarily matter. I think it's more about the bringing together all the companions.
Yeah.
It almost felt like an inverse of Journey's End, where they're all around the TARDIS.
Yes.
And, he did, because this was, a short story, but he was able to develop each of the companions to the point where I felt like I knew them,
Yeah.
in a short amount of time, too. So that was impressive, I thought.
Which makes the heist so frustrating.
Yeah, it does. And there we go.
Yes.
So what did you think of the
compilation as a whole? Oh,
yeah,
that
as
was
a
really
whole.
good. Yeah. Because like going into it, I was just thinking, it could get a bit samey when you've got 12 stories written by the same author, and particularly it's an author that I'm sort of completely unfamiliar with, and they're different styles, different narrators. It's just
you have like the noir, you've got first-person Cybermen, you've got the Sontaran battle computer, you've got a War Doctor tale.
Yeah, and there's something there for everyone. I mean, it's like Doctor Who itself, I guess. So I was really impressed, and it does make me kind of think I might use some of my Audible credits on some of his other non-Doctor Who related things. Yeah. What do you reckon?
Yeah, even though they were all written by the same person, each story felt unique and different, and I liked how ambitious it was in scale and scope, and then how it could be surprisingly small as well and domestic too.
Yeah.
And it's kind of counterintuitive, but I'd say there's a lot more variety in this anthology than, say, the 2 short trips collections we've done. We don't have 5 or 6 stories in a row set in a haunted Gothic mansion.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just, the scope and breadth of these stories and the author's imagination, it just really shines through.
Yeah.
It almost felt like he was an accomplished musician, in each story he was like picking up a different musical instrument.
Yeah.
And then every story, too, there was either like a little twist or a surprise.
Yeah.
Whether it was Handel's or some of the other ones that we haven't mentioned.
Yes. Yeah.
The one thing, I guess, as maybe a criticism, I almost wish that there were more messages or morals conveyed. The Jadoon one in particular, with like the science versus superstition message, that was good, but I would have appreciated maybe a few more of those throughout the collection.
Yeah.
And, it didn't have to all be that way and be preachy or anything, but a few of those, more of those would have been good. Yeah. Not all the stories had strong ties to Christmas either.
No. No.
The Dalek Time War one, for example, I think probably had the least, just the Three Wise Men reference.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I really like this one. So,
do you want to give this a number? Or is it...
before I do that,
yeah.
So Chris, you may call me fantasy crazy.
Right.
But this wasn't the book that I thought it was. So I mentioned this earlier, but going into it, I thought it was going to be 12 Weeping Angels stories.
Yes.
And for some reason, I had built this up in my head so that, each story revealed a different facet of the angels or their origin against a different doctor.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking that, okay, as you read these, we're going to realize that the stories are actually interconnecting.
Yeah.
And maybe we're watching like the plot unfold, out of time and out of order chronologically.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking like, okay, by the last story, they're all just going to slot into place. And that's what I thought we were going to get. Like, even when I was reading like, the girl in the Cyberman story, I was thinking like, oh, she's going to come back later somehow. So I still want to read that book, the one I imagined in my head. But this was still a very pleasant surprise, even though it wasn't that.
No.
So, so if I was going to score this, I think I would be an 8 out of 10 for me.
Yeah.
There's a few places where I was hoping it would kind of veer off in one direction, and it didn't. But it just felt epic and broad in scale and scope in a way of some of our recent novels haven't, I guess.
Yeah.
And the dud ratio or the success ratio was really good with this one.
Yeah, so high. Yeah, such a high ratio.
How would you score this one?
8 as well. Yeah. I think this is probably the best short story compilation we've done.
I would agree. Yeah. By far.
Yeah. Yeah, and just do not be put off by the fact that it's the same author. And also, we have kept quite a few little twists back. So even though you may have heard us rattling through some of these plots, you will enjoy. We have not spoiled it for you. At least I hope not.
And the audio version's a lot of fun too if you end up going for that one, because the 3 different narrators, and they do a good job of matching, like, of course Nick Briggs is doing the Dalek story and the
yeah, of course.
the Santaran story. But yeah, so that's 12 Angels Weeping. And they're not all about the Weeping Angels.
No. But I am interested in reading your book, so maybe we need to get someone to write it for us.
Yeah. All right, so shall we move on to listener feedback?
Yeah, let's.
So it doesn't appear that we have any new emails this month. Listeners can send us their thoughts to andwbcpodcast@gmail.com. Also, feel free to leave us an Apple Podcast review or a review on your podcatcher of choice. It helps listeners find us. So, Chris, how about on Facebook?
So, Carrie Dustin's been reading Sealers of Dreams, which she's kind of halfway through at the time that she left a comment. So, and she said she'll give us a listen once she'd finished. Yeah, we've had a few likes. We've not had any new reviews on iTunes as yet, but so do please give us 5 stars, please. It helps feed the algorithm and helps other people discover the show.
Helps us show up when people search Doctor Who podcast.
Yes,
for sure.
Yeah, it does.
Over on the Twitter side, Tom Hibbert gave us 3 book recommendations that he hopes we would consider in the future. They are The Festival of Death, which is a 4th Doctor one, The Slitheen Excursion, which I think is 10th Doctor, and The Dalek Generation, which is 11th Doctor. So those are all under consideration. We haven't started off our new Doctor cycle yet, but keep those in mind.
No. And I've only read one of those. I'm not going to say which one, but it was brilliant. So
Okay. We also heard from Keith Say, who writes that he really enjoyed our Stealers of Dreams podcast and that it feels so odd getting nostalgic for New Who. It does.
It does. It was 14 years ago, wasn't it? 15 probably as you listen to it.
We're well into the Tom Baker era now.
Yeah, we are.
And then Anthony Strand writes that his wife is obsessed with the Ninth Doctor and owns exactly 6 Doctor Who novels, and they are the 6 Eccleston ones from 2005. She also has the Cruel Sea graphic novel and the Titans comics Ninth Doctor stories.
Right.
So lots of love for Eccleston and the Ninth Doctor.
Good.
So, Chris, I think we're at the point where you let us know what we're going to be reading next month.
Right. So
for January.
Yeah, so for January, I thought we'll go back to the 90s. We'll also do a book from one of the spin-off ranges, and we'll do a book that is available on Kindle. We'll also do a book that people have been saying quite some time, can you do it on the show? So, we are going to be doing Dead Romance by Lawrence Miles.
Oh, cool. A Benny book, right?
Yeah,
I haven't...
yes.
I was very curious what you were going to pick because the randomizer's fully engaged. So I had
Yes.
no idea where we were headed.
Yeah,
but,
it's like, what are we doing now? Yeah. So
Cool.
no, because of the fact that with our version of the show, we don't just do the New Adventures and the Missing Adventures and the Eighth Doctors and the PDAs, and this is one of the books that people, I think, still do talk about to this day that didn't fall into those ranges, but was from roughly that time. And because Mad Norwegian Press has reprinted it, you can get it on Kindle, and the Kindle version also has some other short stories in it. So, yeah. And it'd be interesting to see how it ties into my memories of it. So,
cool.
And also, from what I recall, you don't have to have read many Bennies previous. I may be proven wrong on that, but yes.
Pretty early in the Benny line, too. I think it was the 5th or 6th book, wasn't it?
No, that's Down you're thinking of.
Oh, yep. You're right.
Yeah, so
You're right.
this is probably about
This is
18th or something, maybe.
Okay.
No, I did think of Down, but I kind of thought, if we're going to do just one Benny this new year, let's make it one of the big ones. So, and it's one that's a Big Finish are unlikely to ever adapt into an audio. Though maybe Mad Norwegian Press have or something, but...
Cool.
Yeah, and so you can get it on Kindle. So and it's very Lawrence Miles from memory.
And it's been a long time since we've read a Lawrence Miles book. So
2 years.
Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah, you can have a read through that maybe during your Christmas break and whatnot. If you want to have distraction from relatives, have some nice bit of cozy time with Uncle Lawrence.
I'm guessing the Christmas Queen doesn't show up again.
Don't think so.
Or no, the Carnival Queen. That was it.
Yeah.
All right, so the Dead Romance for January.
Yes, and also it's one that I know the show has definitely never done before.
Cool. Well, until next month, this has been Matt in Minnesota.
Chris in South London. Happy reading and a Merry Christmas to all of you at home.
Thank you for listening to the all-new adventures of the Doctor Who Book Club podcast. Special thanks to George C. Music for use of their song, Doctor Who Theme, Swing Jazz Version. You can follow us on Twitter at ANDWBC Podcast and like us on Facebook. You can support the show by leaving us a rating and review on iTunes. You can contact the show by emailing your thoughts to andwbcpodcast@gmail.com. And until next month, happy reading. That was great.
Yes. So
So,
you
yeah.
weren't expecting that at all?
No. I'd figured possibly a Benny, but
Yes.
I had no idea which one. I'm assuming you've guessed or sussed out what I'm going to pick for
No.
February.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I can't, you have dropped a hint, and I've forgotten what it was. So
That's
yeah,
fine.
that's fine.
You don't have to remember.
Yeah, we'll leave it there.
Cool.
But yeah, and I thought you're unlikely to go for a Lawrence Miles, so I don't think I'd be kind of like stealing your thunder.
Oh, no, not at all.
Yeah, and it's an odd book.
That's cool. It's on Kindle, too.
Yes. Yes.
I've got the paperback here too, but I'll probably go for the Kindle if it's got...
Yeah.
Are we going to read those short stories or at least
we'll see how we
mention
go.
them?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be using the Kindle version. I do have the original, but it's in a cupboard behind a wardrobe. And first I was like, I'll just use the Kindle because it's Lawrence Miles. I imagine it's not the quickest to read.
I was going to say, it'll be a little denser, I think. Might have to start a little earlier on this one. Yeah.
Yes. The sun has definitely set and it is dark outside.
The snow is continuing here, so I'm going to go out and shovel.
Yes. Oh, gosh, yeah.
And hey, no one rang your doorbell either.
No, nobody did. Because like Lauren said, should we put up a sign saying podcast are recording in progress? I was like, no, everyone thinks of me as the hipster anyway. Luckily, I'm not going to have a sign in the window saying...
Podcasting in progress.
Yes. Anyways, on that note, I shall bid you farewell.
Sounds good. Thanks, Chris.
Right,
Have a good one. Bye.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
I want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas from everyone at Doctor Who.